Hey, Sean here from SpeedCubeShop.com. We have the QiYi WuWei 3x3. This hasn't been talked about as much as I think it should be. I don't know, it's a pretty decent budget puzzle that I've tried a little bit before, but I've never really spent a ton of time with. But not only am I going to talk about this, I'm going to compare it to the Thunderclap version 3, because these are both magnetic 3x3s from QiYi that came out around the same time that are around the same price. Let's first unbox this. I'm surprised how long it took QiYi to make a WuLine 3x3. So there's been the WuWei, I think there's been a WuWei WuLine for every single puzzle except 3x3. Was there a 2x2? Can't remember off the top of my head, but there's just been definitely the 4x4 for a while. The packaging is nice. You have the pamphlet, nothing else inside of here it looks like. Let's double check. No, it's definitely nothing else. But packaging is pretty nice, I like that. Now it feels kind of heavy, so I want to get the weight of this. No, let's not do ounces. Grams, 89 grams. Okay, so it's actually lighter than some other ones from WuWei, but definitely much heavier than some other puzzles that have come out from GAN. Let's see, compared to the Thunderclap. Oh, the Thunderclap's actually a little bit heavier. I did not expect that. 91.7 and 89.7. So compared to the WuWei WRM, that one's 89, very similar to that. But compared to the GAN XS, that is 68 grams. So definitely much less there. As far as size, it feels like 56 millimeters. Actually, that looks slightly smaller. Let's be accurate with this. Okay, zero it out. Okay, so the Thunderclap is about 55.5 and a little bit. The WuWei, oh no, is that, yeah, the WuWei, 54.86. Holy cow, so that's a 55 millimeter puzzle. So the WRM is again 55.3. So a little bit smaller than the WR, a little bit larger than, a little bit smaller than the WR and the Thunderclap. Wow, for some reason I thought it was going to be the exact same size. Okay, so first turns on this, it is light feeling, but quite stable. The one that I tried, similar to, or actually just like the Diane Guhong, GhostCuber let me try his, so thank you again. And GhostCuber mentioned that he added some magnets to this to make it stronger, which I can see why. They're also kind of lighter magnets, but they are clicky. You can hear that click, and it's not the magnets are moving, that's the plastic sticking together. Or just the click of the plastic. So the caps are reminiscent of old caps. They literally are just caps. They don't have any extra thing on here that will keep it into place. So these go inside of the centerpieces. These actually go outside the centerpieces. But see, with this one, there's some extra notches to help hold that in. We have conical springs again. I like QiYi has been using these cone-shaped springs on their original Valk and some other puzzles. So I like that because it seems to add a little bit extra stability. Let's take these pieces off. We have a big track here. Another extra track inside of there. A lot of little tracks here, which will add to stability. And this centerpiece here, those holes don't really do anything. It might just be part of the mold. But if you can see, there's dots right around there. Okay, so a lot of little notches for stability. I'm not going to do any altering to this just yet. I'm just going to do some solves. Now, one thing I will say, that center cap does remind me of a Meilong, if you're thinking that. It does have that same circle design there, but the shape underneath is very different. We have those little center things that help stabilize it. I don't know what to call that. Is there a name for that? Stabilizing wings? Well, the pieces are very different shaped from the Meilong. So I'm going to get some actual scrambles from 5-timer. That way I'm not just hand scrambling this every time. Well, I guess I'll do maybe 5 to 10 solves, see how it performs. But I'm not going to do any setup to it yet. I would like maybe a little more lubrication. I can hear some spring noise there, so definitely add some lubrication there. But let's check this out. Okay, let's do just a little bit of extra lubrication here. I'm going to add some nebula to this, which is some of my favorite stuff to use. Just get a little bit in there, because it's already a pretty good speed. I just want it to feel a little more gummy, which nebula is good at that. I need to grab a couple cubes. So we have the Volk M, the Volk Power, and the Volk Elite, and then Thunderclap, and the WuWei. Okay. In my Thunderclap review, I compared it to a Volk Power. Ooh. They both have those caps with the primary internals, but just the flexibility felt very similar. And actually, this is not the Volk Power M. Where is that one at? Here it is. Volk Power M. This one might have slightly, the Thunderclap might have slightly lighter magnets, but it feels like that. It's a little flexible and kind of light feeling. This feels like a Volk with slightly lighter magnets, or the Volk M. Oh, geez. Even though this is a slightly lighter weight, for some reason it feels heavier to me than what the Thunderclap did. Maybe the slightly smaller size makes it feel heavier. I don't know. Since the Volk had these cuts in the pieces, the WuWei is a little bit more solid. And then we have the Volk Elite, which is a little bit more in between, and you have a lot more options with different magnets and springs. Between these two, there is no winner. Now, if you watch my channel, you're like, well, that's expected. But let's talk about the differences. If you want something that is more flexible and, in my opinion, lighter feeling, we're not going to talk about weight, but I think just more the fluidity, the swooshiness of it, the Thunderclap is the way to go for that one. If you want something that feels a little bit more like a Volk, but kind of a little more solid and less hollow feeling, the WuWei's the way to go with that. The WuWei's the way to go with that one. I want to check something. Are these in slots? Yeah, they are. So you could definitely add magnets on the other side, or actually even on the center. Yep, those center caps, they could fit there as well. So kind of a WuWei Elite. Now, if I was to choose between these two, of what I would use at a competition, I'd honestly probably use the WuWei. I like that smaller size. It feels very nice and stable. I don't even know if I would add stronger magnets. It already is pretty stable on its own. So as far as price, the WuWei is just slightly more expensive. So if you had to choose between the two and you really don't know what you prefer, you might as well do the Thunderclap and go for that one because it'll save a couple dollars. Maybe you can get some lubrication with it, because it's always nice to have a little bit of nebula or something else to set things up with. However, if you like just a little smaller size and you want something that's a bit more stable, for that you'd want to go with the WuWei. Yeah, to me, this feels like a new version of the Volk, and this feels like a Volk Power. Then we have the Volk Elite, which has more, even a little more stable because it has 96 magnets instead of 48. So hopefully that helps answer some questions as far as what it is. It's very interesting they came out with both these around the same time because they're kind of similar puzzles. But I would imagine, I could see them calling this like the Volk M V2, the Volk Power V2, but they're both budget prices. And then we have the Volk Elite that has multiple setup options. So thank you very much. I'm going to do a few more solves with this. Maybe if there's any good ones, I'll put them at the end of the video. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future, and as always, stop by SpeedCubeShop.com for more news and reviews.